They tried to take everything from me at my husband's funeral. But Damon left me one final message, and it exposed a truth that nearly cost me my life. The sky over Lysander Ridge was the color of whetstone the morning they buried Damon Creed. A thin winter mist crawled between the gravestones like a living thing, cold, hungry, and waiting. Novalie Creed stood beside the casket, numb in a way that no human language had a word for. The world felt muffled, like she was underwater. The pastor's voice blurred into the wind, the sound of pages turning and his Bible flickering like distant fire. She wasn't crying. She had cried so much the past 48 hours that her tear ducts were dry, aching, raw. Her husband, her quiet, gentle, stubborn Damon, was gone. I'm 29 years old. A man who still laughed like a boy when she hit his coffee mug. A man who whispered nonsense to her before bed because he liked the sound of her falling asleep smiling. A man whose last words to her were, "I'll be home before dinner." He never came home. And Novalie never had a proper goodbye. Behind her, she felt the weight of the Creed family like a shadow. Damon's father, William Creed, cold, rigid, the type of man who controlled a room without raising his voice. His mother, Helena, stern-faced, wrapped in a coat worth more than Novalie's car. Damon's younger brother, Tate, expression flat, eyes calculating, as if he were already thinking about assets, numbers, share percentages. Novalie didn't want their comfort. She didn't want their words. She wanted her husband back. The pastor closed the book, his voice gentle. May he rest in eternal peace. But peace wasn't coming. Not for Damon. And definitely not for her. The casket lowered into the earth. The sound of soil hitting the wood echoed like thunder, even though it was just a handful, symbolic, ceremonial. But each patter felt like the destruction of her last safe place. When the final guest drifted away, offering stiff condolences, Novalie found herself standing alone near the grave. At least, she thought she was alone. Until she heard footsteps behind her. Heavy. Purposeful. William Creed. She turned slowly. His face was carved from stone. "Novalie," he said, voice low. "We need to talk. Now." She blinked. "Here? At Damon's?" "Yes. Here. It's the right moment." "Right moment? At their son's grave?" She swallowed. "What is this about?" But William didn't answer. Not yet. He pulled a folded legal document from inside his coat and held it like a weapon. Helena and Tate flanked him, forming a wall. Her pulse spiked. William spoke. "The Creed estate reverts back to the bloodline now." Her breath caught. "What?" He unfolded the document slowly, cruelly, like he enjoyed every second. "Damon is gone. And as per our family's generational protocol, any property, business shares, or assets that were allocated to him are to be reclaimed by the blood family." Her voice shook. "I don't understand. Damon and I shared." "You shared nothing," Helena snapped. "You were married for 3 years, Novalie. Barely. You were an outsider. He was going to bring you into Creed Holdings, but he died before he could finalize the transfer. Which means, legally, everything returns to us." Novalie stared. "Damon wanted me protected. He told me." "What Damon wanted doesn't matter," Tate interrupted. "He didn't sign the papers. That's the only thing that matters." Her legs weakened. "So you're taking everything?" William's jaw tightened in the slightest shift that meant yes. Then he said the sentence that would haunt Novalie Creed for the rest of her life. "You may keep your clothes and sentimental items. Everything else, house, car, accounts, assets, belongs to the Creed family now." Her stomach dropped. "William, Damon wouldn't have wanted this. You know he wouldn't." He didn't flinch. "It's not about what Damon wanted. It's about what is right." "What is right?" Her voice cracked with disbelief. "Trying to strip a grieving widow of everything?" "You were never suited for this family," Helena said coldly. "And now, that chapter is closed." Before Novalie could speak, William delivered the final blow. "You have 72 hours to vacate the property. After that, we'll have security escort you out." Her ears rang. 72 hours? That's Generous, he said. Generous. They were burying their son while simultaneously burying her future, tearing her life apart while her heart was still bleeding. Novalie stared at William, searching for the man Damon said had softened over the years. But she saw nothing but ice. And don't embarrass yourself by trying to contest anything, Tate added. You can't afford the attorneys who handle Creed cases. Novalie whispered. I loved him. Helena's lips curled. So did we. And unlike you, we were there long before you showed up. It was like being slapped. Then William stepped closer, so close she could smell the expensive cologne Damon had once jokingly called the smell of dictatorship. Novalie Creed, he said softly, dangerously. You no longer have a place in this family. Her whole world tilted. And if I find out, he continued, that you have something that belongs to the Creeds, documents, financials, keys, access codes, I will make your life very, very difficult. Novalie's pulse thundered in her ears. This wasn't grief. This wasn't mourning. This was war. A war she never expected. A war she hadn't prepared for. She inhaled shakily, trying not to crumble. Is that all? She whispered. William didn't blink. Yes. That's all. But as he walked away, something caught her eye, a small, embossed logo on the legal document. Creed Holdings' internal document, not for external release. Damon's personal signature line was blank, but so was William's. Her stomach flipped. Something was wrong, deeply wrong. And somewhere inside her grief-ravaged mind, a spark lit. A spark of suspicion. A spark of anger. A spark of something she hadn't felt in days. Fight. As the Creed family walked away, leaving her alone with the half-covered grave, Novalie whispered to the cold wind. If you think I'm walking away quietly, you don't know me at all. The wind answered with a hiss. A warning. A promise. She looked down at Damon's name carved in stone and pressed her trembling fingers against it. I will find out what really happened to you, she whispered. I promise you that, even if I have to tear your family apart piece by piece. Behind her, unnoticed, a single man stood watching from the far edge of the cemetery. A man in a black coat. A man who had been at the funeral but never approached. When Novalie finally turned around, he was gone. But his footprints remained. Novalie drove home from the cemetery with hands that wouldn't stop trembling. Every turn of the wheel felt heavier than the last, as though the world itself was pushing back against her. The Creed mansion sat atop the hill behind her like a fortress closing its gates. Her home, their home, felt different now. Colder. Hollow. She stepped inside, inhaling the scent of Damon's cologne still faint in the air. She slid her fingers along the hallway walls he once painted himself, remembering him balancing on a ladder and laughing when she told him he missed a spot. The memory stabbed her heart. But grief wasn't the only thing twisting inside her now. Suspicion grew sharper every minute. She pulled out her phone, opening Damon's last message. Nothing unusual. Then she opened his email. Password correct. His laptop? Password accepted. And then something strange happened. Damon's personal folder, normally tidy, had 5 new encrypted files, all created in the last 72 hours before his death. Novalie clicked the first one. A password box appeared. She tried his usual ones. All failed. Her pulse quickened. She tried their anniversary date. Denied. She entered the name they used for each other, Nova and Flame. Denied. Then she typed something she had never seen him use as a password before, but felt the urge to try. Forgive me, Nova. Enter. Access granted. Her stomach dropped as the file opened. A single line of text appeared. If anything happens to me, trust no one in my family, not even my father. She froze. Not even his father? Her mind raced. She clicked the second folder. This one contained scanned documents. Bank transfers, property deeds, hidden shares, a secret portfolio Damon built quietly across 3 years of marriage, worth millions. He had placed them all under her name. He left her everything. Except Damon had never gotten the chance to tell her. Or maybe, Novalie's breath caught. Maybe he knew he wouldn't get the chance. The third file opened automatically. A video recording. Damon sat in his home office, face tense, eyes dark with fear she had never seen before. Nova, if you're watching this, something happened. Something bad. Her hands covered her mouth. I found something my father kept hidden. Money laundering. Illegal contracts. Land schemes. It's worse than that, Nova. He's using the company to launder the money of very dangerous people. Novalie felt her heart stop. Damon sighed shakily in the video. I wasn't careful enough. I think they noticed I accessed the files. I plan to tell you everything tonight at dinner, but I don't think I have that long. She whispered. Oh my God. Nova, listen. My father isn't the man I thought he was. And if anything happens to me, he was involved. Do not let him near you. Do not trust him. And Nova, he swallowed hard. Take everything I've given you and burn him to the ground. The screen went dark. Novalie screamed into the silence. Damon didn't die accidentally. He didn't die tragically. He was killed. And William Creed was involved. Her grief hardened into something colder, deadlier. Vengeance. Before she could open the fourth file, a knock echoed through the house. A single knock. Heavy. Deliberate. Her pulse spiked. She moved carefully to the door, her hand gripping the pepper spray Damon once teased her for carrying. She opened it. A man stood outside in a black coat, the same man she saw at the cemetery. Dark hair. Rugged jaw. Eyes that held too much knowledge. Novalie Creed? He asked. She froze. Who are you? He held up a badge. Detective Cade Mercer. Homicide. Homicide. Her knees weakened. I need to talk to you about your husband's death, he said. Inside. Now. She hesitated. He leaned closer. You're in danger. And so am I if I stand out here too long. She stepped back. Come in. He shut the door quickly, locking it behind him. Then he faced her with grim seriousness. Damon didn't just die, he said. He was murdered. And I think his father is trying to clean up the loose ends. Her chest tightened. Loose ends. Meaning her. Cade continued. Damon made a statement before he died. An unofficial one. He said if something happened to him, it wouldn't be by accident. He said there were documents you might find. Novalie hesitated. Then she showed him the files. Cade's eyes widened. This is evidence that can destroy the entire Creed empire. The room filled with tense silence. What do we do? She asked. We play along, Cade said. Let them think you're complying. Then we strike. How? With their own greed, he replied. Step by step, Novalie and Cade formed a plan that could crush William Creed completely. 1. She would pretend to accept losing everything. She would move out within 72 hours. 2. Cade would secretly freeze the secret illegal accounts William used, using Damon's files as probable cause. 3. Novalie would attend the inheritance meeting William scheduled, acting devastated, powerless, broken. Just the way they wanted her. 4. And finally, she would expose them with Damon's video and the hidden documents in front of government officials Cade secretly invited. A public massacre. A legal execution. The kind with no escape. Novalie stared at Damon's photo on the wall, eyes burning. For you, she whispered. William, Helena, and Tate waited in the grand dining hall of Creed Holdings. Their smiles were thinly veiled cruelty. Novalie, William said, you look exhausted. Grief is heavy, isn't it? She forced her voice to shake. Yes, very heavy. Good, Helena whispered under her breath. Tate smirked. William slid a stack of documents across the table. Sign these. It releases all claims to Creed property. She pretended to tremble as she reached for the pen. But before her fingers touched it, the doors burst open. Detective Cade Mercer walked in, followed by 2 federal agents. William stood abruptly. What is the meaning of this? Cade's voice boomed. William Creed, you are under investigation for murder, financial fraud, money laundering, and obstruction of justice. Helena gasped. Tate cursed. Novalie stood slowly, no longer shaking. This, she said coldly, is the meaning of it. She pressed play on Damon's video. His voice filled the hall. William's face was drained of color. Helena staggered back. Tate's hands shook. But Novalie wasn't done. She opened the files. Every illegal transaction, every document Damon saved, projected onto the large company screen.
Gasps.
Whispers. Chaos. Cade nodded at her. Finish it. She stepped closer to William, close enough to see the exact moment his empire began to collapse. You tried to erase me, she whispered. After murdering your own son. After stealing everything he left me. After threatening me at his grave. William's jaw clenched. You stupid girl.
No, she snapped.
You underestimated the wrong widow. The agent stepped forward. William Creed was handcuffed. Helena broke into sobs. Tate screamed he would get lawyers. But it was over. The empire rotted from beneath their feet. 1 month later, Novalie stood on the beach Damon once took her to on their first date. The sky was golden, gentle,
warm.
Cade approached quietly. The court approved everything. All Damon's assets remain yours. Creed Holdings has collapsed. William will never breathe outside prison walls again. Novalie closed her eyes as the wind brushed her hair. Thank you, she said softly. Cade shook his head. You did this. Damon trusted you with the truth. You honored him. She looked at the horizon, whispering, I just wanted them to admit what they did. Cade nodded. Sometimes justice is louder than confession. Novalie placed Damon's wedding band on the sand, letting the tide kiss it. Rest now, my love, she whispered. Then she walked away, not broken, not grieving, but reborn. A woman who lost everything and destroyed the demons who took it. Piece by brutal piece.